This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Be our Boadu TV soon. Ya best house, I won't subscribe here. Sisia, kakra. Now I subscribe without the sissy. Bell no se be ya de bibia tompe on sabeti me aka. O comment here anti ja comment. Na like video na free, share ko all social media platforms so am I. Na be na 2 weeks 3 weeks ago. Ade be trend was social media. Any TV baby anaye Agyapade book. Na Captain Smart Korea na kwasha ase keka wonsema na afi pejaye. No mo chese book bia ba MPP fo na achiro na no mo implement o memu ye be mafia we no ye de be ko prison ye be we no say ye de man be ko ha ye de be we ye be go station we a mo chese o ma implement sa ndisi fo so ma mo ka ene Sammy Gyamfi no nyina so ma mo ka mahama no nyina akasa de afa Agyapade book no ehun na Agyapade book no picture na monten so na say ochehene na wada so guyi na unim Dennis Miracles one also akasa da fa ho HSA Agyapade book na NDC for kanu kure bienim omo tse entron kwa na NDC for twakora tactics o ma 50 20 ahe say sha to aba eno ana mu use a kick tactics kwa na NDC for use omo ni message bia de magana for Agyapade book ho ahwan book Ghana for wo hu sa dem na twem no kure bia ene ho
sembi nenam niam bi nenam ena buku bi ena Agyapade ena yesi nana dodan kwekufo ado ene na busu atro buku bi ena omo implement buku no ena buku ne mu niam nko na omo yusu niam bebre mu wenye new abato mbre na aso aka 4 months ekoto aba NDC for strategy no but tactics omo yusu efitete eno na omo yusu omo nsu ahwe omo nsese mu ba kusi. Let me put it on record and put it on record here. There is no such booker MPP ni bia tro be bia ye friend Agyapade. A NDC for creation. And this is not the first time. President Kufuor Breso Kuromu yebi. Omo friend the Great Ashanti Project. And also the same thing. Samu bebrebe kaya. That was the time NDC for catch Ghana for you say President Kufuor be your mampenia. Obeyi capital ne finkai. Not their Kukumase. Now don't so ba omo ka the same thing. Omo so be capital finkai. Not their Kochebi. In fact, omo kaya ka say President Kufuor. Why not just obefa epono finkai e their Kwa Ashanti region. They did it. They said it. The same NDC people. Now e kamia ko ye say afi bia ye beto bebia no. E say NDC for fa intro mienu miensa bi no mo denante. No mo hopi se Ghana for be so no ma to aba momo. Say ye beka say NDC nipa ye campaign or ka policy. Enyina so ye fa to aba mo nye bida. Omo de ye mienu ye be di atem ne ya threaten wo ne the violence aye elections no de toso mienu no ene say ye be twantrato opponent no so ne ya chekere aso no ne ya bompa ye say nipa na okoto aba ne be gentro ne sum no mato aba etia no enye ne in the 90s they go into the year 2000 elections NDC for say Kufuor will sack Zongo people from Ghana ye kwa elections no omo nante Ghana ha nyina ye banners e de bobo posters bobo zongos e ka che zongo fo nyina say samo to obama Kufuor ne MPP fo o mepam zongo fo nyina Afri Ghana na omo mpom asem omo say Kufuor will change the capital to Kumasi omo ka che Ghana for say Kufuor say ye to obama no be yo mampani a oni ne party MPP for your madwen say ye be yi capital ne finkan na Kufuor de akọ Kumasi because I asantini NDC they did that when we were trying to come to office with President Kufuor as a flag bearer. Almost say Kufuor will carry the sea from the coast to Ashanti region. Almost catch a Ghana for you and say President Kufuor munim na samoto abama na one the MPP man yoko na your madre so be fair prono if in kind. Normally they call Kumasi. This was the NDC in the early 2000s. As in called the year 2000 elections. We no mukuki omo no aye e the two MPP so 2004 almost catch a Ghana for you and say President Kufuor any broni bi akwakowo broni ne fa ne gizayazi na wa wontafo Paul and Peter e transfer to papa so e catch a Ghana for nyina say e na ye dwamanfo e no ye say say be on be gu ne ho fi na ya to abetia no se ne e na gizayazi ne ntafo Paul and Peter be ba yenim but in the year 2004 elections no NDC for no one trouble ako e do to President Kufuor so hotel wawa almost say president ko for your mind sika we your mind sika you know they akoto hotel Africa Region Hotel Emma edru baby omo ye ho demonstration e ka ho nsem bebre simply because they say they intro eso no near to abetia no NDC strategy going into election 2008 the Great Ashanti Project Bank of Ghana missing gold reserve propaganda by and the General Secretary of the NDC here caught into 2008 elections no wo kuobi na a friend say set the record straight to say bibisa na joy yan say wo kuoda bia ba be press conference we twan trouble akwa na mienu okanya kaye etwe wo ni newspaper mu say President Kofo ni naban ewia Ghana ye go the World Bank of Ghana nyina e de kwa bruchiri. He said that and published that in his newspaper. Fifi Kote, General Secretary of the NDC ene. Owie no, and on the party for ekwa printed document bi. Na onim. Omo printed the bill bo kromu nyina say a bank statement of MPP mpenimfo omakonya ewo Prudential Bank, NIB Bank, GCB Bank, ADB Bank. No more printing MPP form penny for bebre people bi no more printing no more yanite say your original bi no more the near maybe a stamp so no unam krom no more cheche mo hwe kofo ne penny for mo ya kronfo omo bank statement a leaking ye krei omo we are 2 billion we are 5 billion we are 6 billion keka ni nyina no mo ko printed document bi beto obonte se hwe evidence e kire say mo hwe document nkrata e kire say MPP President Kofo ne naban ewia Bank of Ghana gold nyina de kwa broche ni no mo share documents across the country. In the same year 2008 almost say Ghana MPP aban President Kofo aban aton Ghana and crime lands nyina mamoho. When as a matter of fact, let me put it on record here today and now, no political party be anyone not buying penny for aton aban Agyapade3 and saseni aban fini eduma SNDC. No political party. NDC penim biya from the top to the bottom. Biya etobi. Omo ton to say chupa chops. Omo ton factories to say chupa chops. Omo ton sase to say kelewele any tomatoes. In fact, NDC pe any aman yokua. Omo to be called parliament. E catch the MPs and say, Monchechere mra mayen. Na sa mra no. The person ya dem brand ya ne say, ya de beton o mine Agyapade3 o mine factories ni o mine sase. Omo ton o mine we sase ni Agyapade3 if any say factories nyina. Enso omo bo modin to be cookie document bi e ye nhoma bi ye nkrata bi stamp ye e de nante Ghana he nyina atwa to na na dedan kwaku for the president Kofo aban so in the year 2008 say mo hwe omo wia omo tonton enkan phone sase nyina omo tonton Ghana nyema nyina they were the actual corporate. Ebiyam omo say na na dedan kwaku for do ye pamono efi Oxford omo say ye pamono from Oxford University. Emma to the extent that also university at Troy a cry ebe catch NDC for say enya no cry. They say NDC you omo kan to Ghana for trim in fact omo printed document e say sacking letter free Oxford omo je fake sacking letter free Oxford e say ye pamo na that don kwaku for the free Oxford Emma omo cheche free Ghana for Ghana he nyina. It took the Oxford University to write and say say no omo kan no enya no cry. In some brain omuka for na dan kwaku fa ho in the year 2008 or ye we smoker or ye cocaine dealer or pema why yes in fact omuka ya ka say ono an yire kura no onu ne ku no NDC4. That is how wicked they can be. Omu bi omanu e hwe papa nanim ka say ne yire ne hokafo a odo no a ono ne wo ma a ono ne te no NDC4 the year campaign e twanto to do say ono na that dan kwaku for do the NDC. In the year 2012-2016, I'm say, Samotu Abama Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Obeyi capital town, no, every Nanado Danko Kufadua, Moto Banman and Danko Kufadua, Obeyi capital, no, effing crime, Eddie Akot Chebi. Na Obama or Chehine, I am the most powerful king in this country. And also, Omo Yahoo document, a Yahoo Krata Troye. Echeche for Ghana hanyina na sambre no ne social media 2000 2004 2008 2012 2016 na social media no entintim yet say entintim ene no nka niema ye bette wo yasum sambre no but they did it. They pasted posters of all these things across the country and lied to the people of Ghana and said, this is the evidence, these are the documents, these are facts, this is evidence that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo President Akufo Omo Ashanti Great Ashanti Project Ombe yi capital efin kra akochebi Ombe yi say eye ni nyina for my way mu simply because no pese Ghana for eto abamomo. That's what they wanted to do. In the year 2024, the same MPP, the same NDC in the contest, NDC for society, only the same strategy aba. This time, Oma kofa book bia, Oma koshe demu, akeka stories, news items, Oma keka boom, inti asamne ba, Oma fa no me da ka ho, Oma keka ni nyina boom, no me dey up to abontin say, eye book bia, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne busu ya koshe demu no ma tro, no na mo hwe no mo implement e wo Ghana ha. Complete fabrications, complete lies. How can we be so wicked as a people? Edi enkwa to me keke. Na wo petumi a, who opportunity, we live in a democratic country. Who opportunity say obe chire Ghana ni no kwakoto aba no, de enti oto aba ma. Ade na won ken no. Why do you fabricate stories? Your entire career, mo party ne ba ye nyina, mo party no consistently every single elections. This is the historical fact. Must come up with 1 or 2 lies to destroy your opponent. Why? Why? And then North Town MP Honorable Sammy Okudjota Blakwa aye no say ne propaganda ken. No kreno, no adane no. No account, no the brofu bebre bia fefa ho, no ebiem. Enti sa wo kind ade ana wo tie so okasa, no wan to obo entie ne yi a. Wo bedwe se do aka ne no kre, ante sa wo beto obo ase, no wa hwehwe no say or they give votes. The same strategy. 90s, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2024, NDC and Sesaya. A yentro. No creba componim. Complete fabrication. Book rom for the Agyapade3. NDC for net nase. Na ya booka. Uko almost na the book remubiano. Omo implement it. What the NDC has basically done is that omo niama na omo kikafa MPP ne Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ho before 2016 elections no. Ye ba power in the year 2017 pe. Na omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu. Omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu. Na omo tro ne book. And I'll prove to you say they actually wrote a book in the year 2017. Changed that book in the year 2020 by simply putting together all the stories and news and incidences between 2017 and 2020 and they named it as an Agyapade3 document. Into what do you ankoswa? What kind book now? Who feel say a book I tried that near my woman ebem is a complete fabrication. A near ya reporting in news in comfort articles or matro stories and comfort on market kaboom no more share book in the year 2020. But you see, Sadiamo way air koswa. Some of us are not surprised, and this goes to my Gen Z friends. This is the NDC party. This is who they are. It's we are Gen Z. Maybe I will about one name party no maka sembia to team into Ujidia. So pick your phone, Google about the NDC party, and you see who they truly are before you make a decision and you make a choice. Omumam penino dio manim nanka se bien na no aka se about tuombre ebesoa and chokakra omu the film ni ade. Mo me video di okaye. Listen to what the former president himself said about lies during elections.
MP, you know, say it drew election time. Na amanyo kubia pray. Nti ne obeka bia ama nipa akoma dane ama o eno na obeka. Nti entra now they film. No cry now they film. Ya the frefra. No cry no ho yenka. Na ya the intro film.
Nti dia obeka bia ama nipa adwen adane ama o no. Eno na obeka. Nti entra na dia film. No cry, not your film. This is a former president of our nation. This is supposed to be our role model. This is supposed to be the leader of this nation. This is supposed to be the statesman of this country. Telling the young people of this country, say, I'm not one brain aso. Ye koto aba. Inti dia wo beye bia na wasesa nipa dwen no. Wo beye entra na wo di film. Enye miracles and I make catch-up. And your Dr. Mahmoud Bami and I swam me from my number control. What a video, no? One cassa would was what said your kind, and I would do when you know a video. How can we leave the destiny and the future of our country in the hand of such a person? A man that is seeking to lead this country, a man that is seeking to be president. It will be an anoka say, I'm back to bre aso. The obeye bia or the best is any padre no obeye and try now the film, no cry now the film. How can we put our destiny in the hands of such a man? And this is they executing what the president, the former president, is talking about. The Oman Penny, Dada Jomahama Ekano, and no pepe na efi the 90s, ebepem 2024, NDC4, yeno. We lied for power, says Fonka. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of Friends of Nana Kunedu Ajimai Rollins has stated that the ruling National Democratic Congress lied for power. Rashid Abu Al-Hassan said all the things the NDC propagated against the SY Kufuor regime in the run-up to the 2008 elections were lies. All the things our leaders said about former President Kufuor's government were lies that were thrown with a view to causing public disaffection for the then government in order to make us win the elections, Abu Al-Hassan emphasized. Or say, and somewhere yem penny for any ye party no, ye kafa penny John Kufuor ninano, na yentro, no creba kukrampo endim, ye kanasa kwa, and you're no pen a wakasa semono. Momentie the afi kweti, o tran trofo penny Kufuor ni MPP abaun in the year 2008 elections. I Ghana for Gina sound trono so because it's all the documents by. I'm printing documents so I'm printing Agyapade book here you. I'm printing for Ghana hen auntie. We are Ghana now book document bank statements I say I'm penny Kufuor na buy we are Ghana gold in akwa abrochire and I'm bank statement we are Ghana scan na obejedi. Nti no kre Ghana for bebreji die na ye to abama NDC aban. Ye to man we na onya appointment omo ye the deputy finance minister and a parliament minister tanya bia in some now waka fa omanpenin Kufuor ho no wa ba bem wahu wanya nyina so wakohwe gold no e wo ho na se eni ho.
Mr. Chairman, in offense, I mean, it was not long after that when it was obvious that the story was not true. And I was one of those people who clearly spoke to it because there was no basis at all to the story.
This is the General Secretary of the NDC. Or that's all. On call baby, I what is the chain? Then Pai Boyina say the new lie on my cookie. And they share book more of Agyapade book or my church at one or the Asway. Then Pai Boyina say baby. Na se nyama mboa na se bem na se ye gire no so to abama this year the okai in 2009 after Obini power no sa na obeka che Ghana for say book na de na yenim ye na ekeka boom na ye de so apomo. This is the NDC for you, and that's why we are saying that we shouldn't allow them to hoodwink us like they did in the past. Remember your mom kwan no mon dada it so no mon dada e nanu na aka no mo kai say me ka kire mo say long before the Nadu Dankweku for the bar bemu, as far back as 2008, and the NDC for sure say, Omo cancel, Omo try so Omo bema a chim for na santifon temun tokwe biya bemu. Ntomo shasiye, say, Nadu Dankweku for the Samoto Obamana, Obetia Santimaya who den so, Obetia Santimaya to me so, Obama Santimaya who the yakos, na Santimaya or better Santimaya. A Santimaya shall see a say Omo Predio Mohu, Ekwe Gina ho. Abua emagana menjina itumi aboabo ye ho akabom no eyene na Nadu Dankweku fado se wo gidie se na Nadu Dankweku fado betumi ate asanteman ho oden so a na me nim oman a wo frim eti ye ba bemu in the year 2017 pe and then this for ekofa the first book sa book no omoto ni din the Achim Mafia Plan. This is the book. The Achim Mafia Plan, the way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo. The first person who posted document way NDC Nibutras and Kwaku Yenchi posted on 14th January 2017. This was 7 days. 7 days after Nana Akufo-Addo has been sworn in as president. The way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo is sworn in as president. And then unim omo tro book no essence no medi kan akato Ghana for nyina tim say no Nadu de oni achemfo ba o mechechire oman nafa no mama oman no etese Ghana no ko meyi capital efin kan e de akoche bi o mema asanteman ho de so aba fam omo keka sa na mani nyina nti omo kane mo no omo kan during sa campaign period nyina bomu de share book mu no omo de share homem right after Nadu came to power. This is what they did. O kan book na bedu baby omo say As for Alan Chemantin, his popularity once more has surged upward, both within the party and the country. In all honesty, he has made so much gains for Nanado and our 2016 campaign. So we must be careful dealing with him. In spite of the good works by Alan, he remains the #1 threat with the potential to stand in the way of Kenuforiata becoming president after Nanado. NDC4 etro book no sabe esane se nisade hu nisua na adwen no anye emburo bia adwen tunti no omo ye mistakes nkete bi wade na omo tro ye nim ye be pa hu entoma akere mo. In this book 2017 version of the book no NDC4 tro wo mu say omo ma ne ye te say Nanado eni nebusu aye omo adwen say Nanado fi aban mu a Kenuforiata na ba bedi Nanado ade enti according to the NDC, this was supposed to be a planner. Nanado Dankweku for the Nebusia for a follow. Enti Kenuforiata eba bedi Nanado ade nemum omo de oma dream no omo se nipa obetumi ya Kenuforiata kakra na ye Alan Chemantin. That is what they put in the book. Enti say wutifie na say what kind book bi say ya. Of course. Quickly, why have beji book ready? Because no mo si ahihye book ni ade no obeji ni nyina edie follow. Mamika say minchro. Almost 4 versions. They have done 4 versions of this book. Now, what kind second version? No. Now, what kind third version? No. Now, what kind fourth version? Now, we say there is no connection between the 4 versions and this 2017 version. It because 2017 the year in some of them during campaign time. If I another who am kikabo muninti. Omo twenya ye wura 2020 no. No more year a second version. In the second version, what they did was that Niama SCC dada between 2017 yaba bemu no bepem 2020 no more kani nyina abo munti omo fast story we are online story reshuffle another beye oye wie ya no much omafa say o movie we fi ministry we ko we are na story ne ba no mafa omo kani nyina abo mu no mo de share the second version, the 2020 version of the book. Sambre ni mwa ena Minerals Income Fund, Minerals Investment Income Investment Fund project na buy pese oye in ensuring say ye betumi enya ye sika ye gudie hu sika no bebre ne yetumi de acheche o man no Agyapa project na ba be no Sambre ni mwa na Agyapa project ne ba ye nti omu hu say now this Agyapa project has come and hu say ma ye bebre pe in almost a book from the Achem Mafia plan to the Agyapade3. And clearly, there was a 2017 book that was completely different. That book was a compilation of electronic propaganda. Omo kafa na nado dan kweku fado. In omo twenya ye do 2020 no. Na niema SCC dada no omo kan ni nyina bo mu into a book and omo frɛ book no Agyapade, and the reason why they call it Agyapade was because tama na sa Agyapa project ne ba so no propaganda omo de frɛ mu ne sɛ na dan kweku fado ene na busia for air Ghana gold nyina akɔ and asa Agyapa project ne be a very popular term in Ghana. So omo the title of the book. This book na 37 pages. The very first one omo in 2020 no. Enti efi woko no bibia ba na mo de akohyem bibia ba na mo enti asem ni sie na anase nkomodie ni start say ekosoa na mo kenkan stories na mo call revise from the share book nim na you see esa ne say we di kan hu book no ba akobi e painti so wu sa screenshot na o ma seke hu na say hey enti we so book nim enti we so book nim enti na beti de bi mu ka say oh na book no say yen trompo a say de wo mu bia no esisi enye no kre. The fact of the matter is say open kofa any of the books na kai ubengu say content ni bia 37 ni mu no any 38 pages ni third version about current one no the 39 pages asam ni see ya no ma update no ma put it and out but esa say one kind book ni na completely nti unya hu person oh say wey nti na we so wo book ni without really comparing. And I can tell you, if you compare all the 3 books, 1, 2, 3, 4, versions of the book, you realize that are completely different. It was your four. Now, sebi you, sebi, Madaruma. Say, ya doing ye juma kra. Say, ya doing ye juma kra. Yembisa who say, Nana don't go for the nebusu your fortinaze. Say, ye be fagana my not, ye be tomafa. You know, mutual book. Omutual book, no. And a book, no. Omu call printing press. E catch a printer say, ya tro book e ba be che Ghana afa. Enti yesraw print book ni man. Ne yan kwaton book no. Because me kan minua madam for pa Eugene say to or a journalist e wo Kumase. Or say, I first came across this book in 2017 on KNUST campus. It was a hard copy document. A hard copy document. That is the Agyapade book or document. Is it real or fake? It was said to say, or no, in the year 2017, you know, hard copy of sa book way, na nye biya Mr. Mu. Enti, nipa na mo say, omo tumi atena te atro book. Ema book no, mo kremi say, book no nsemu nyina esisi no. Enti sa nipa we, enhu nyansa. Ema mo ko print book no, or the ko printing press, eye cover page. Eye bibia ekoton ye. I mean, how do you even expect a 9-year-old to even believe this? 9-year-old, maybe 9-year-old crowd will say them be like, now where you doing? But of course, and this is for a pia ashayamre because omo dane in semono, into what 1 hour shall be said your mokano, no cre. This page, sa page way, sa ukofa first edition way ya. Ube we say. This part of this document where it talks about EcoBank, any Osafuma Fuba, any Senate, no, you realize that this document is not in this first document. And see, what happened was that immediately, Omampeni Kufu for the year in such a kakra, it was Senate, pepe, you know, muko update document, no, almost share that document, no. And see, Esan is a way paying. So who say Oma share BB say no more update no more share that document here what dream and koso. But the fact of the matter is that so who sa first document we ukoshe now bia we say sa paragraph we on Senate no it is not in this first document. It anya bia mpamocho na na dan kwaku fa na ebusu afotro book no first version omo ye no mo ko print ye no mo ko tonton ye ana eliki ye. Okay, omo kontonton ye dia ene ebisa obaba 9 years kwana church ni mu say asemwe ono ka che na obagie dia na so man kontonton so na liki ye dia enti mpamocho first one liki ye second one liki ye third one liki ye how eba ne say ena EcoBank Senate asem no any first version nim eba ne say ena Senate asem no any second version nim the second version it doesn't have this insurance page where nyina any first and second version nim eba ne say and insurance page ni na enim anything make catch you say the end is for ye nyina ne say asam ni sia na say omo say asam na sipe no ma fa no da ko share omo update book no and normally you realize that normally what happens is that in the morning we be nyane no ma fa page ba ko no ma de say omo second ho no mo circulate. But Esa say when we painty. What do you cry and koso? But I can tell you, go and pick the 3 versions of this book. You'd realize that there are a lot of things. A what current version no my no. Current version no my no de Senate di be mu. No de judges di Supreme Court judges di no e be mu. When you go and check, you realize that they do not appear in the previous versions. That is how wicked the NDC can be. First version of 2017 and I'm the show no. Now I'm make say me chiro. Say book no your book and another dan kwaku for the boost for the troya. And 2017 version should be the one that we should see being implemented. How come 2017 someone mo troya no? Emu bia mem until 2020 there now. E be chiro in summer SCC between 2018 and 2020. In summer SCC between 2018 and 2020 nkwa and a book nim 2017 there bibia sa enim. That is why I tell you say assembly sia no ma for no dia shame no ma share. It is never true say whatever is in the Agyapade book is being implemented. Rather it is what has already happened and almost for nobody a book room, no more distribute. On for nobody a book room, no more distribute. And that is why each of the versions are kind of you realize that some of the information that is the reason why it's happening that way. There are 4 versions of this book, and some part of the book right there. Obi article awakwa Professor Kwekwaza article awatro no trauma CD no. Omo fani nyina word for word no mo share book nim. And be some question no. Na ekufa de ba ba mu. No throw book 2017. And so otumi hu say Professor Zabe throw article 2019. E ma ne fa Professor Zabe article no throw in 2019 no. E she 2017 book man. How does this even make sense? Opa, page 33. Page 33 ya obemu say Professor Stephen Kwekwasare book na ne article no troye e was Center for Democratic Development. So almost for the whole article o man jaba akumpo. Almost for the whole article no mo de share book nim. Na book na dan Kweku for the nebusu for troye so o de be chechire o man no e ba ne sen e na sa book no etumi ade a Professor Kwekwaza etro so many years after March 13, 2020. March 13th, 2020. There were nyina mo kan nyina yi book ni mu page 33. There were page 33 of the book ni nyina no. Eya ade a Professor Kwekwaza na troye e de to online March 13, 2020. Omo copy ni nyina na omo share book ni mu. Na na do throw book no March 13, 2020 na. Book na NDC for say na na do implement no. E ba ne sen and at the year 2020 article Professor Kwekwaza atro no ni nyina ebe find itself in the book, everything verbatim word for word. Omo yi ba kokra free ho. Omo say the GATT Amalgamated Trust received 800 million from government to ensure that ADB Prudential Bank NIB were able to meet the minimum capital requirements set out by the Bank of Ghana. These banks are either government when nyina wo book rim anye bia banking sector clean up no ye nemrebe. Book I will say a strategy. Obi ba abemu watro or they running on minor. Supposedly a blueprint document or they running on minor. How did you get to know about 800 million specifically that was given to Amalgamated Bank? Omo decided way a share book. That is why when you go to the second version of the book, way immediately a Bank of Ghana a release the idea way on the 4th January 2019. Pe no mo resources from GATT will be used to recapitalize the 2 state-owned banks to help drive and promote. Omofa ni nyina no mo ko share book nim page 33. No mo tambe share page 33 enu ni. Book also be a throw a strategy I will implement no. The person says the Ghana Amalgamated Trust received. It's another babemu. Na no strategy. But one trust strategy this we do 2020 no and try all trust. These are all stories a see banking sector clean up 2018 2019 stories. A see in a 2020. Mode share book and let me show you. This is the book. Cover page of the book. Please can you open the PDF file of the book for me? The cover page of the book has the date. Please open the PDF file of the book for me. The cover page of the book has the date of the year of the book, AD 2020. AD 2020. AD 2020. That is where you can find Sir FN saying book no. And then when you open this book, great. Okay. This is the date of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. It means that it is established. Say this version of the book was written in 2020. This version of the book was written in 2020. How is anybody convinced that a strategy book was written at the end of somebody's tenure? How does it even make sense? How does it make sense? A strategy book that has articles of people. A strategy book that has news from online portals. How does this even make sense? But we are speaking about this today because your former president what in another to adiewemu fake and the party for ye and a support fake document completely fake document. Now okay say book ni dey ABA fake and so niam wo mu ni nyina ne dey aban no implement it. What is true is that niam wo mu ni nyina niam SCC because ye banking sector cleanup. It is about a book in 2020. Now the banking sector cleanup shiba munye because they see that because they see that ofa book na in fact in seminar affair na esi no omofa normal update no dey shame into kofa previous version of the book sa in seminar esi and no dey shame no with the previous document you see it only in the current document. In fact some of them they omo share book ni nyina o eya no be twa book no one page bi no mo dey red pen afa ho no ma share but esa say ya kan book no ye ho painti and no what 2027 say oh na say the book ni mu nyina no eno na ebe mu no. I can dare you go and pick the book and tell me one thing that is in the book NCA abem every single thing that happened between 2017 and 2020 is what is in the book. Adia bia NC wo book ni mu no and see between 2017 and 2020 in here so it hasn't happened. But the book is simply a compilation of things that have happened between 2017 and 2020 stories, Bank of Ghana stories, individual person stories or matro, normally a bisham, Niama Akoso Dada, news portals are reporting, normal copy, normally a bisham book. How are you telling anybody that this is a strategy document? How are you telling anybody? So this is a strategy document. To the sense, to be cast, a friend is saying in the book, almost say, na Danko Kufado, and in the Russian allies, and you know, they are Russia for Bekebia or Beye. In fact, the evidence, even Nana Danko Kufado, a lot of the decisions that the UN has to do with Russia, Crampono, or to about differently. Ghana, you to about in a different way. So how do you even support any argument with that? Almost say, Omukofa a picture be, and the picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata the first. Nobody has a book name. They say, almost say a chem for Beji or minor fa into almost far picture. No, two kind book now. Almost says our group picture way, a book name. And according to them, this group picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata. Mr. February 1st, 1896, exiled Prempeh the First and his retinue arrived at Cape Coast. Nana Prempeh the First, and then the powerful in Fonini. And so NDC for e dey akwahye book mu say book anana do danko kufa den ne busu afo troye no omo nim omo hire and omo nim santeman hine. So mistake omo ye no so omo ye book na omo pepe omo hu nti they couldn't find a picture of Nana Seforiata the First. No omo kofa picture wo Google ye na Nana say Prempeh the First no omo di be shemu na wo gidi say Nana danko kufa den ne busu e tro book na so omo person omo de Nana Seforiata ba book ni mu a on back of father and say Prempeh picture on by mistake. Which did some by mistake because the NDC were cooking this and they didn't know, they didn't have a picture. Picture they put a wrong picture in place of Nana Seforiata and they are telling us that we should believe it. A book that has Nana Prempeh the First as Nana Seforiata is supposed to be a book written by Nana Seforiata and his family. Assembly see no more kofa no more share Absa Bank nidin Absa no I think the name came around February 2020 inti abane say and a book and another danko kufa na ebusu afo atworo almost on be bu on mind na do ba mu 2017 na do to make say Absa formerly Barclays. What it means is that Absa na enkanon ye fe no Barclays so nidin sisa call Absa in the year 2020. How is anybody being convinced that this is a strategy document? This is after assembly series no mako update book no. Assembly series no mako update book no. Esi ya no mako update book no. Ebi won so omo de omo hwehwia eti Miracles no. Say jama wan hwa ye be no information minister, ye be no energy minister. Miracles na eni emesi kono. Wan hwa ye be no education minister, ye be no friend say petroleum minister. No mako update. We would in the year 2020 make Dennis Miracles Aboagye the energy minister so that he can nobody has book him far and far let's just say in fact in some of the versions grandpa no omo yi free mu Omu yi niama ni bi omaka eden efrimu. Barclays Bank Ghana, now Absa Bank. 2020 February. How do you tell me say buka yatro? In some na woman nyina ye niama SCC dada no ma catalog. The omu tro kemwa enu nyansi in the past as ye tro book ni bia no ensi. Listen. Omu tro book no second version somewhere in 2020. Now, adia bia was that 2020 book in bia BBSC between 2017 and 2020. There is not a single incident a book in my SCA between 2017 and 2020. There SC bia in 2024 2023 no any book in him a update on my ya so far first version now you will not see the current matter in that version. Every other thing they said never happened and nothing of such has actually happened. Now Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo any Gabi Otreda akoni MPP etro book ama MPP a on best spell Kojo Oponkroma din say Kojo Oponkroma na akwala awoje subscribe to me spell Kojo Oponkroma din a on your mistake. But you see because who try because who yenda enti ahopepre enti Kojo Oponkroma no ni din kwa we hu tro mo say is Kojo o say we make Kojo Oponkroma minister for communications minister and you be Kojo Oponkroma communication minister. Ade na mo ka say a perfect document bibia ekoso no anya Kojo Oponkroma communications minister because they see ya no makofa mo don pech na me yi Kojo Oponkroma kwa that ministry mo wan say another version of the book aba no ma trouble foforo in the next government 2021-2024 government has already convinced Nana to move Kojo Oponkroma to the communications ministry to continue the clampdown on the opposition as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increase his. Nyase biye nim. Osha buafonu kra nye. Buafonu kwa mricho book nye de. Buafonu mricho book na ngasa kra nye de. Ubaketua or what's free senior school SHS 1 kra no. O kan buafu we say adwin na deep buafonu echi no kra nti. E ma buafonu ye de. Kojo Oponkroma didn't say this no. Nti MPP4 any friend say na Dankwa Akufo-Addo betro friend say Kojo Oponkroma di no mati Kojo Oponkroma ni odaso e wo ban nim on ye communications minister or ye minister for works and housing or ye afuase ye before member of parliament ni di say ni spell no Bank of Ghana report e bae Bank of Ghana release report no Bank of Ghana release ya no mo faye no mo de share book nim no mo share book no. How do you write a book in 2020 and compile stories and incidences between 2017 and 20? About the same outro book in 2020. Now compiling your ACC between 2017 and 20. Now the share book. Now for any time there BBC no update. Over 3 versions of the book I'm saying different. Ebi wo ha esi na e wo current version nim. Wo hwe previous version nim. Eti sabe madaroma. Nipa na mo so mo book no ma bin to mo tumi implement bibia no. Nto mo nim nyansa. First one leak here. Second one leak here, third one leak here. Aba. 2017 dey na mucho ye no. Ba kumpo ni wa bem. It is only the 2021 am compile here. Modern crowd stories in online portal share no. Na modern am say everything is being implemented. I dare anybody to bring me the book. Let us sit down, pick all the 3 versions and prove to me which of the things in the book are NNC here SC. It's not there. Everything in that book is what has happened. And now when it happens, then they will update and share. That is why there are 3 versions of the book, apart from the 2017 one. Not a single thing in the 2017 version has happened. One impo, any 2017 in see. 2020 they no more cast stories in the bomb. No more they actually okay we are. I say hey, where is here? But you see, you assume say book near 2017 no more choro. How much on 2020? And nunti in a banking sector cleanup no. Because banking sector cleanup in 2016 number 2017 book. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now, I feel here 2017 book no. What can ya? Almost say Kenoforiata na bedi na Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ade. Into the omo ye nyina no, strategy omo de Kenoforiata e ba be president. E do 2020 version omo ye no. 2020 version no. I feel almost say in the 2020 omo say the person of northern origin should be the heir apparent. Omo trying to say Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo na iron strategy bi. Into Dr. Baumianya ba ya running mate na o book ni mo. Why in the way party mu a as at 2020 on to me predict say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was going to be the flag bearer of this party. Why? See ya no me shame. E shame pe no me take screenshot. No ma cycle. Say na you mo screenshot no. Say. Nti say we e ba na say ni previous version ma say no mo ye no. No ma share we. Nti mo share we sana. Na wo kan we ya because we dey who book ne ba ko that say but I can tell you who cover the previous version now can you say we enim. You realize that eno enim. As for Alan Chamanti, I think I've read this already. So 2017, my prediction was that Alan will be the flag bearer. 2020, we say I'm fan of it. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the obvious choice, you know. You know, we call updating book, you know. You know, we say a person of northern origin will be say, and then when you see it, you say, oh, at the end of the day, your friend is saying, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia befa, na na danko kufa that plan a book that complete falsehood, complete fabrications. Almost and na na danko kufa that plan say, or best shut down radio stations be NDC for. No, what you know they my MPP, but radio station back where NDC need ya shut there they my MPP. Mention one. But let it happen tomorrow. They'll go and pick it and put it in the book. Omo kayaka is another MTN everywhere you go. Omo kayaka is another ebek go MTN. Omo kaya meanwhile the same people are moving around saying say Nanado protect MTN. Omo kayaka is another go MTN. Omo kaya can say yeah PDS assemble. ECG PDS assemble pe no mo edit book no mo the PDS shame. It's when you go and take the second version of the book PDS in him, but the third version it has PDS. Me wa PDS Nanado in the trap PDS. Mustafa Hamid in our say and a book be no creba kumpu the womb. It is quite obvious this whole book of Agyapade3 is a complete fabrication of the NDC. And a idea almost year was so and it's in a Mampeni Nankasa, former President Mankasa, and so Ekebino. Nankaya Sama, and could be over your Mampeni dear. In some be say misinformation and disinformation be said dear. One for one no and to anka disinformation and misinformation said dear. In ka one for one to but on any ordinary to Eko Kaya Kawo, your friend is saying, the campaign to say, at the end of the day, Empo to the Kayo, I say Empo. Say book in a fake crowd, the woman there, it is all being implemented. Former president, no. Yenina former president. Obia former president. Odia Troy Hene, your Mahama. Odia Troy Hene, your Mahama. On when the beer no can say politics there. About 1 years wa. The Abeke be about to send the padre no beka. And try now the film. Ojina campaign trail. And also calf misinformation and disinformation. Say book in import a faker. Everything in the book is being implemented. I dare one person to come. Let us sit down and pick the 4 versions of the book from 2017 to the version 137 page, version 238 page, version 830, version 339 pages. Which of the things are in the book? Now, we are going for Obianje copy. They said the whole book can be a basic beam. And yes, you are no more update. Never said a book back more versions back 4. I did almost say a strategic document and Nippon prepare answer about Bemuno. And but instead of the 2020. Book no, what on the 2020. And so when I'm say book no your booker, ye implemented because Nippon try answer about Bemu. But the book was written in the year 2020. Now not about Bemu 2020. Niama AC 2018, ewo booker, what on the 2020 mu I will say it's implemented. At the end of 2018, banking sector cleanup 2018-2019 year no. So the best book mu say meye who the best 2020 book mu but it's 2018-2019. Why are we this wicked? Why is the NDC so wicked? And the NDC for mutumo densa. And the NDC for mutumo sumsa. Why? Bonnie Ben and on my way NDC for all the way from the 90s, 1992, 1993, 1994, 5, 6, all the way from the 90s bepemune. Mudi eno mukwa batu bia mube chantro. Muntumi mfa no kreke to say emfa nkwa batu mu. Muntumi nka nche nipa no de ntu omonto abamamo. This is modern trolling contempo akasa. Ye de we 2024. 1990 no man fi mu a ye de be fi mu. 2004 elections na man fi mu a ye de be fi mu. 2008 elections na man fi mu a ye de be fi mu. 2012-2016 elections no man fi mu a ye de be fi mu. This is 2024. The new generation of the MPP. Yambediagro. mutwa ntro no 100 times ye be spend time 200 times ye de dwiri sa ntro no enwumre yi ade ba akopɛ ne ye bedi ho dwuma Agyapade book no a complete fabrication of the NDC enni nyina so keto ase enye book bia edi twemu ebronti ase so bia eye book a NDC for keka stories online news online stories bubo mu niam esisi dada na omkeka bo mu na omde bi eden eka ho na adechi bia no BBC no na omofa na omdi him enti book no your versions ba komako 4 o fa sa versions 4 na ebia yesronko version 1 no ye 2017 dia no bibia ni mu a esi ye 2020 omu se 2017 dia no hwi ni mu esi no mbeka niam esisi from 2017 to 2020 eka bo mu eye book elutina even things that happened in March 2020 krano e wo book a nipa no so tro in 2017 book an another dan kwaku for the tro ye no wo say all person of reata picture no ehu na okofa asantenhene nana prempe the first picture book a wo say another tro ye so ba ba mu no nyema esisi 2020 March April February nyina e wo book nim book a wo say another dan kwaku for the tro ye no e ba ne say na Professor Kweku Azaa story a otroye in 2019 or 2020 e wo book anado na atena so na otro e ba ne say na Professor Kweku Azaa story e wom na de ya kware say omo de Professor Kweku Azaa story ne be mu as if say na nado na yeden e tro ye ma ho kwan e ma ntro say enfefe e wo ye my way going into the elections. Ghanaians deserve better. Ghana for yourself at say mo be treat you with respect and dignity. Na mo di obuo amayen be kache yen de opese e gina so eto abama wo be kire yen enhyehyeye awo me ni adwuma me pa adwuma cheme de obetumi yen na adwuma ba me ntumi nko school because me ntumi ntua cheme kwa abefa so metumi akọ school me ntumi rent dan because me niska metua rent cheme kwa abefa so abema me rentika me ye mfidi adwuma me hie sika na me de ahye me adwuma mu be cheme kwa abefa so abetumi nyesika e de ahye me adwuma mu me oba me di dwa wo dwa so me pemboa na metumi me dwedi akoso be cheme de nti abetumi aboa na me dwedi aiden akoso me ya branch me pese me hye adwuma se foforo cheme de nti a ekwan abefa so abeboa me na metumi nya hoden e de hye me adwuma se sei na ye politics John Mahama say abatom bre so a de obeke bia se nipa dwo be ye entrokra na de afem Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye entreat nipa sa e de obuo ene ahobrase ene eni nipa tena wo de nipa fa sa akwan so a na wabu nanim tia wanfo buo ma no ono ogidi say ye to abama na obe make sure say Ghana mebu ebetumi nye school mu kwan no manya skills omo hia no omo de abeye adwuma obe make sure say infidi adwuma ye bie no ye be bie aka ho automobile companies no dodo beba enu nti omo be ko technical and vocational school no o de infidi no dodo beba omo workshops nim no mo disua ne tumi akwanim no mo wi omo tumi abenya adwuma ne biaye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obeboa ema 1 million young children ye train omo in digital and IT skills no mo tumi aye enwuma e wo wiase afa na nyina Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuanom ye papa no mo import ne ma fi aboche ene mo ye businesses o mo di dwa no or the new tax regimes aba wo ho beto duties na wo port no obeto se hwim na wo make sure say duties no any togo de no ebe ye pe ana ebe kofem ase no o se duty ye ntua duty wo dollars biem duty ye betua in cedis ye be calculate in cedis empo exchange rate na wo port no o se obe pege no no de gina fako se na be ya obetumi a predict na wetumi hu sika obehia e de yi oniama o se Ghana mebu nya gidie wo ni mu se ekwan bi obefa so obema Ghana ene abrochiman abeye pe no obefa so no ma ene abrochiman abeye den abeye pe ogidi say we chichi what do you compare other countries a nemu oyobi a owo enisudi eni say enisudi hu a owo gidie kase se bia wo pese wo ye no sa woni omanfo ne kabom na mo nyina mo de akomakro adwenkro eya de mo pese mo ye bia ebebem o ma ye nyina so a ye nyina so efato abama no ye ndiatem ye kasentie nipa ye ntwantro ye nkasakasa nchia ye dia ne se o wadwen foforo na adwen sonko de bebo man no odi ne huni ne hote o wakomapa o wodo ema Ghana ese former president Mahama monto abama no why momboa no no menya konwa no na de ono so betu ye no o meye ne ye hwe aha the next chapter show nyame ya doma ya wada ye besa so ehia wa ha to my Gen Z people I keep telling you this election is for us. This election is about us. let's be ready to understand the issues and vote based on the issues. Under no circumstance should we let anybody at all exchange our future for their own personal gains. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is running against a former president, a man that had an opportunity to cause change in the lives of the people of this country, but failed woefully. A man in whose time, when we had difficulties and challenges, told us clearly that he's turned into a dead goat and he cannot be bothered by even sharp knives. A man who looked us in the eyes and told us that he's not ready to negotiate with our medical officers who were simply asking for better conditions of service. A man who said that he has seen so many strikes even during his first term and can no longer be bothered. A man who left this country in darkness for the entire period he was in office and sat down and ensured that thousands of jobs were lost, millions of people stayed at home, factories shut down. A man who sat down and allowed hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians drop out of basic junior high school after basic education simply because their parents could not afford. This man surely cannot be one we can leave our future into. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been a fantastic vice president, one of the most vibrant, unarguably the most active vice president we've seen in our lifetime. A vice president that is willing to work with us to fix our challenges. He's one that believes that a lot has been done, but a lot more remains for us to achieve as a people, and is ready to rally us all together behind him and lead us into the future we desire and aspire for ourselves. Enti odia ne se emre no so a obefa ballot paper no at the polling station na watu amanipa ope na watu etia nipa no na dey share ballot box dem obia ko akoye campaign in the 5 northern regions. Politicians be reako former president Mahama nkwa akoye campaign one day pa ade echi en hwe ho so yes remo. You may have your own internal party issues, but don't bring it to the rest of the citizens. You're doing your one. You're doing a quite fast way. We are ever ready as a political party, as a campaign, to receive anybody that believes in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And the GD said, "We see the Amranti Kenya clearly. Omu ni GD biya omu leader nim. Na omu ni GD omu leader mua. Emamu shene ema. Mufa mabano. And from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, among Tomano, na enepa or one on Fambra, Emeboa. And you may the Ekache Ghana Mranti and Maba across the country and say, let's say no to violence in politics. Let's say no to any form of violence in politics. So when they opinion ye Adrian to Abetiano, me to Abetia for my president Mahama because Minjin is obey to your boy man. Monia Bre Mranti and Maba Muo. Video yi mu ni abre say mo mpe na men feja tutia no a tutia na ne nue bit ne nchen a ne nue bi afre bi ayede efre mu nti all of you in the video and your families and all the people who disagree with Dr. Former President Mahama no yes remo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye ready wa ye krado a obeje mu nyina awa wetu won to abama no na onfa ne nimdie ne na dwen sonko no wo no emfa beboa Ghanaman de bi asemba kwaya meka ne se abeya ye kwakoto in the year 2024 December no eye communal labor nipa bebre na wo Ghana ha omode o ma ho de no makoma no bibia hye abana ye kwakoto dim me ne wo kase ya me ye next chapter show yi here me nko awo millions of Ghanaians na wo across the country a almost so can Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho nsempa no e Ghana for the entire to abanti Adom Mahama ne to abama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. There was a clear reason why a kwembia so say nyine kan ho bom ne to abetia former president Mahama. Ne make sure that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia be win elections here because Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wa dwen foforo adwen sonko no so de ne de ba beboa omayi. Na ye be say esa say ye be hye nkran say emfa ho bebia wo. Udi a wo betumi aye no. Say we akola, say we pani, say we abrantie baby awo bia no bo modern say obeka Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho sempa no ache wonua enkankan menuanom Gen Z's no like I keep saying Gen Z's ne de NDC for your madwen say embra na former president Mahama wa be mu as o mampeni no na Gen Z ni bebre we di 8 years 7 years 9 years nti ne nsɛmmɔne obɛdi tia ɔman we no ɛndi si fɔ sɛ nsɛmmɔne no obɛdi yɛ no na yesusa nti yɛn kai nti deɛ ɔyɛ ne sɛ ɔnam ɔnka hwee oni message biara na ɔtoto nneɛma ho anyampen no sɛ bibia sɛ de bɛyɛ a wobɛgyina no so ayɛ dɛn ato abama no na sɛ mɔka gyina ne sɛ wema ntumi ayɛ mo ntoma me but yɛbɛkaekae yɛn ho na yɛaboaboa yɛn ho ano na yɛ make sure sɛ na wadi 8 years sɛ na wadi 9 years sɛ na wadi 10 years sɛ na wadi 11 years no ɛsɛ wohu ɛkwan a ɔfa so ɔde ɔman wei ɛkɔ ayakayakadeɛ mu na wogyina no so to abetia mu na as citizens of this country no obiara will vote baako nti muma yɛn nyinaa yɛnyɛ campaign yɛ yɛkɔkɔ yɛ indecency wo baabi a wogyina kadeɛ nti yɛ ntoma wo nipa anaa wo pani na ma ɔfoforɔ so kwan so ɔno so bɛto ma ne pani ndc fo suban na ɔmo afa na so bi ne ne ɔmo nya adwen a ɔmo di nipa na tam ɛde patapaa ɛne atendie ɛyɛ no ɛbɔ ɔman na ɔmo mpanifo ni bi na ahyɛ ase na ɔmo yɛ saa na ɔmo kyitafo no so ɛyɛ yɛsrɛ mo yɛde kotodwe ɛpa mo kyɛw yɛde yɛwɔ gyidie wɔ yɛ man ne mu nti yɛmpɛ sɛ ɔman ne bɛsɛe nti mo deɛ sɛnea tie biara no mo ana magya to mo sɛ mo bɛte party na mo de mo ho adɔm kebi ma me kebi ɛma mo nsɛe ɔman no ɛma yɛn wohwɛ beautiful young lady yodi kaka sɛ yɛ atɛmdidi a ɔmo di no ɛne efi a ɔmo de tare ne ho simply because ɔsɛ on to ma former president Mahama ɔka sɛ on to ma former president Mahama no so wan ka ne keke wakyɛ die nti ɔno ɔbɛto na ba ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ɔsɛ ɔno deɛ ɔkɔ free senior high school enti ɛnu nti no ɔbɛhwɛ so ato aba ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ɔsɛ ne nua so akɔ free senior high school ɛnu nti no ɔbɛgyina so ato aba ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ɔgye di sɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia bɛtumi abɔ na ne da kyɛ den akɔ so ade na wodi na tem wo sɛ wo nto ma ɔno ɔbɛto ma former president Mahama for Pudon ɔbɛto ma former president Mahama for nkokobo nketenkete nso choice no dia yɛnyɛ wɔ ha ne sɛ yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ wo die nti a ɛnsɛ sɛ woto aba ma nkokobo nketenkete because ɛntumi mbɔ ɔdaakye yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ wo die nti a ɛnsɛ woto aba ma John Mahama former president because free SHS no so 2 billion ɔmfa nhyɛm yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ wo die nti a wonto aba ma former president Mahama because ɔne na ban ɔmo tɔn na Agyapade ɔmo tɔn na factories ɔmo tɔn na nsase edi yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ na wagyina no so enya adwen sakyera na wato aba ma MPP ɛne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia yɛdeɛ ne sɛ yɛ ne wobɛdi nkɔmmɔ na yɛ ne wadi kasa ne yɛakyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so yɛ ɔba bɛyɛ adena mo nsua ɛno bi na mo deɛ ne deɛ atamidie nko a wobi sɛ NDC ne sɛ mo sɛ mo de 24 bibi aseɛ ne sɛn a the first no bɛka no so obɛdi watam mo policy mo de aba ne yɛkasa mo nkyɛkyɛ mu na mo di atam and this young lady very pretty beautiful young lady ɔno so expressing a natural right as a citizen of this country freedom of speech na yɛka na wo bi na ɛno nti ɛma wɔn so participate in our democracy no I don't know the atam but I'm very proud of this young lady I'm a born abaso sending cry encouraging no baby owo bia she's a shining example for millions of young Ghanaians across the country. Say we are protecting our future and that this election here to December it is an election between Yadachi and the Echemuno and the young people of this country have chosen the future over the past and this young lady is standing firm with all braveness to say forget all the insults and atemdidi amobedi mene nkasa entwi amobedi kafa me hunyina no me mfa ho mokosro eba fema meto aba ama me dachi meto aba ama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia mami yo akasa yi ne kasa ne bebre na e ko mami nuanom Gen Zs no oma abakosem from the 60s and the 70s e kan ya bepem ne e che de enti ono onto na ba ma former president Mahama owo ni nyina so ne so sisa akuo no omo ya yakayaka de omo paniema basabasa omo sai oman wa kire kwan ofa so na oye adwuma e wo company bi aban ne gu no wa kire kwan na ofa so na oye adwuma wo mbia bi a NDC aban ese no wo se enu to no onto na ba ma NDC ni nyina so no wo nyina so pa wo se obeto ba ma joma ma ene de woni bi wo de ane se wo so ye NDC ni nyina so pa ene de se nei ye bisa sa de ntipa na papa ono pani ono aba bedi o mampani mpan a wontumi an ye o mani ye bo no o san aba se santo obama no e de mpanti na obegina so ato obama no woni bi nam no so onam na o campaign kasa ni nyina no ontumi nka niema potin ya o de beba e be solve ye issues ayewo onfe bi mbaye ne de na ne kasantwi no de atamdidi akakra fam na nem de chita fon so ayedai afa no mato so e bo man e sei man mommen fa kasa ene nkomodie ene adwen a eburo obi die so ne fa ye democracy no e me gidi say e be boye millions of you out there campaigning for and on behalf of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Ghana for do amoa fa ne nyina mo kasa ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye hye mu kran ye bo maba so obi anso ne nua ba akomu ne fa no ko police station ne nkoto aba no e ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na mo kai Thomas Amoni abrantie bi na o ka hye che ekura bi ase e wo Upper West akem adeso na we wie school a onhu ekwan obefa so de na brabo obefa so na onanti tens of kilometers and so to me go school empo ne ma me bie na no ka say senka school no na nkan ye free a nkan ne ba Thomas Amoni won to me anko school no mo kai sa abrantie na aban ehun ne mobo ehun say so wan hwa ambo na oye talented onya all A's ne exams no twa no onya A from a stroke copy my firma na empo onya all A's no waka hye room no mo kai sa abrantie no aban na nado danko ekufo do Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia aban e man scholarship e kwa Abuche man ko sua ade no ye ne di nkomo wa hada sa abrantie no ene we school wa graduate na guess what onya first class oni wiase afa na efo nyina na tena classroom sua ade okọ na nado danko ekufo do free SHS na o mampende da John Dramani Mahama say nkola no mabon na results na omunya no ye based on wi a omuni teacher for ka ebomu ewia da ye ka che ne say nya no kre nkola no de o ma ho oden ni o mani eden ni o mu teacher for ade che pa o de mom no e de ni nya sa results no sa free SHS student na onya all A's na former president Mahama say owia ye no okọ Abuche memu London no onya first class bibi ene we bro first class ni abodin a e wosro pa ene Thomas Amoni ate ne ho anim ate ne maame anim ate Ghana fo anim Yakupon ene da na se o se ono ne nchechire mu ana yeka se onbo ne tofa na adwen o wofa free SHS one o se a transformative education equalizer enhyehyeye a abandi aba esakra niemu mu prekope ema homesua ho ensem eye pepepe ema Ghana ni bia transformative education equalizer enam eno sunti nene ama ono ano hye suaba adesu ekire baby a na wakatene fie even after blowing the exams no ene wotumi akoye degree economics and finance we wia okoye nso no enye se wakodi ekire o. In fact this gentleman if it am owura school ni mu Abuche mem no every term bia on betray exams bia on a topic class no what topic class na the wie school e ma onya first class in economics and finance e ya bodin kese bia Thomas Amoni nyame hirawo nyankopon de wo kwan bebre ofa so a ode ehia ne mba nyankopon onyiyi mu na ompemu nyankopon embre so na so kase ode ne nsa ebeto so a ohwese wo ye kese ana tenti ana ketwa ana se wo mu oduru ana se wo ye tietia se nyankopon se obehira wa ofa niam bebre so eno de hira wo nyankopon embre enemre pa wo hira wo ngu nanim ase wo de ahoden na akoma panso esua de abon homode menne abodin kese yi aba ameno nyam hwe kese aba ma wo emebi so aka Ghana ene wo na internet so bebia obia ebo odin nyame hirawo se wate enim na wate oman enim na wa manim guase ambeka aban a ode hyehyɛ papa yi aba na megidi se enam we sunti ebe hye Ghana fo mrantie ne mmaba ne nkola bebre omo so omo school mu ebe hye omo nkrae omo so mahu se emfa ho bebia wo emfa ho bebia wo free emfa ho tokura wo hyem na nado danko ekufo do MPP Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at the senior high school free senior high school hyehyɛ na ba se ne be ya Ghana bebia wo bia no wo betumi akọ school na won so ama wo ho kwan na woni suade hu a wo da ache no etumi abem se ya na nado free senior high school a anka wantumi ankọ school ni mpo enwie ama wa benya sa akonya kesie ankọ Abuche enya na nado danko ekufo do free senior high school a anka millions of Ghana phone caller na ebe katene fie wote nkran wote Kumasi wote Tema nti wadwi mu no free SHS anya de bia but there are millions of Ghanaians across this country free SHS ene de amom daache etumi akonenim free senior high school pe enene ama ohie niba eni osike niba etumi tina dai ba akumu esuade free senior high school pe enene ama ohie niba etumi de ahomaso ene ahoden soroko etina class on sure say beza an accountant eba be pamon the school fees free senior high school pe ene ma akwala bi tumi fi bimbila ebe senko Wesley girls e wo Cape Coast free senior high school pe ene ma akwala bi a o hye amanhia echeho baby etumi free ho eba presec legon no ne Ghana ni bi ofi Ghana fre ne nyina etumi nya baby etina na sa noma we asese ye ne ye bo ho ban tina ema menua same oku asem oka no ema emu oduruma me pa se wo beye bibia wo beka bibia ne mum hwe ene pa aben ayi ne gina so afato abamaye niema bebre ne aye badodo na so na aka ye ntumi yeye se wo kasa wodidi aka ye ntumi yeye nko achi a de aye ne nyina besai ye to abama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na ombo de aye ne ho ban na one ye nkambom na de aka ye ntumi yeye no so no ontumi mbo aye dey enye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia abano sami okuse ye mfa ncheche Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wambeti akoma nti nabano ye mfa ncheche ye somu ni engina ye na so prekope na ye nto aba emano Thomas uchinkwa Ghana fo bebre enye nkranhye ewo wa achievement na wa achieve